So today it's all about how do we know. So we are going to be studying with the simplest, and then we're going to go further and further to the most difficult. Again, you don't have to know. You don't have to know all these things by your head, right? You don't, because all these things you can always search on Google and find. You just have to understand how these things work, how they work, right? So our focus will be on HTML text today. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. So let's start first with the skeleton. The editor we are using is Notepad++ or Notepad if you don't have Notepad++. And let's start with the basics. We're gonna do the basics again, right? When you are building a website, right, we are going to be talking about HTML. So you'll have HTML and HTML. Everything that you open, you must close. To see that you have closed everything, look at what happens when I press here. Oh, I'm not sharing, am I? Let me share. Sorry. You guys are not telling me that I'm not sharing. Okay, can everybody see? Tell me if you can't see.
I can see it, sir.
Perfect. When you are building a HTML website, you must open tag and close tag. Look at what happens when I press on HTML. They both light up, right? They both light up. So what that says is it is giving us, it is showing us that it is showing us that you have opened the tag and you have closed the tag. Let's open another tag. Hit. And then for every tag we open, we close. Hit. So you have hit, you open hit, and you close hit. These ones that I'm showing you must always be there. So look at that. I press hit and the other hit also switch on, or it is highlighted. I press this and the other one also is highlighted. It is highlighted. What happens if I do this? Look at that. I press, this one is not highlighted. This one is highlighted. So it shows you that there's something missing, right? So we have head, and then after head, we have what? Body. After head, we have body. So we have head there, head, we open head and we close head, and we have body. We open body, and look at that, I didn't close, so it tells me. So we open body and we close body. If you're not following, please ask questions. Yes, Juliana?
So I don't have any questions.
Okay. Aman, are you okay? Okay, perfect. So, few things. The next one that you must have is this one, title. If you have these things, guys, if you have head, I mean HTML, you have head, you have body, and you have title. You have built a skeleton of your website, right? You have built a skeleton of your website. You don't have to worry about much anymore. You have a website, basically. You can come to the body and just write some random stuff, save, and then you can open and it will run. So let's run it. Edit file. Oh, there, run. No, let's see if I can run the site. Then stop sharing, share. I have run my website. It is showing all these things that are written here. Look at that. It shows that, which is what I wrote on my website. And it's telling me that this is Tsega's website. Those are the two things which I'm getting. Aman? Those are the two things which I'm getting, right? But let's talk about much more difficult. What if you want a button? What do you do? So you want a button, so you just open tag and you say button. Then you close tag and you say button. You have button. Here, you just have to say login because you need to give it what to say. And then you're done. That's what happens when you want button. So you want button, you just say open button, close button, you press login there, right? And then you have a button. So let's see what are the changes when you run button. Look at that. You have a button, login. There is a button, it's pressable, right? I know you guys are eager to make it do some cool stuff, but let's start here. You have a button, it's pressable. What if you want to write your name? If you're stuck or if you can't see, please tell me. What if you want to write your name? So input type. So we have different types of inputs. We have different types of input. Input type, and then value, and then we close tag. We have different types of inputs. I'm going to write them down here. Different types of inputs. We have text, type text. The first type of input is text, which means that it shows what? A text. It shows a place where you can write something. So if we run input text, look at that. I can write something in there, right? The second type of input is called radio. Who wants to guess what input radio does? Jivesh, do you want to guess?
So I'm just still thinking, sir.
You're still thinking. KK, you've been quiet.
So I think a radio might be a directory to another website that will play an audio, maybe.
Okay. KK, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
What do you think radio is?
Still thinking, sir.
Okay, Senamile.
I think what the best said with the audio file thing, I think it might be that.
You think it's what?
I think it might be what the best said about radio playing an audio file maybe.
Okay, let's try it.
Sir, I
Yes.
think that it just plays audio or it lets someone pick audio because I know exactly
Okay.
how. Yes, I think that's how it is.
Okay, let's see. I just typed my radio. Let me give it a bit of space. So this is how we give them space, guys, so that they go underneath. We say BR, BR. So we're just giving it space underneath, BR, BR. Okay, let's see. We'll refresh. This is radio. Okay, let's remove our notes there. This is radio. So you would have something like this. I'm gonna just do this. This is why I write notes now. You would have something like this. And then you say, choose me for Tsecha, right? You have choose me for Tsecha, and then we can have another radio. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Will you be putting this on the chat like you did last time?
Yes, I will.
Thank you,
And
sir.
then choose me for Reneso. So you want to have a choice, right? And then we have another one. Then choose me for Aman. So we save and then we refresh. Look at that. Choose me for Tsecha. So for Tsecha, you click there. Choose me for Teniso. For Teniso, you click there. Choose me for Aman. For Aman, you click there. You see what radio does.
So it basically gives it an optional value on which the user can click to go to the next page.
Yes, it gives you options. It gives you optional values that you can choose. And then the next one we have is submit. Who wanna guess what submit does? The next one is submit.
So I think submit is to submit the answers to the website if you want to do a survey or something similar to that.
Okay, so submit, what it does indeed, that's the truth. It shows us a button. Look at that, register. So I created this as an input, submit, register, and then this is what I get. I get a button with a register. Can you see it? Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's what, yes. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yes.
Where do you go check your website?
Where do I go to what?
Check your website.
To check my website.
Yes, sir.
Where did you save it?
So I saved, when you saved it, it saved under the Bob, but now it's not there, sir.
What did you name it?
I have to go look, sir.
Okay, Juliana, you can take notes for now. We are not running as yet. I'll tell you when we are running. Okay, I'll show you guys when we are running. Is that okay? I'll show you how we use that web server to run the websites. Is that okay? Juliana? Okay. Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
My question is, so for the button, if for the button and the text, if someone inputs a certain amount, a certain text, and how can you make that text activate some sort of function that opens another page?
Well, that is where we are going to do what we are going to do when we are working with web services. When we start including PHP,
Okay.
that is where we are going to start seeing that.
Okay.
Yes. So let's see. Let's go to the next one. The next one is, what if you want to press and pick a few things? The next one, we are going to be picking a few things, right? That's the next one. So how do we pick few things? Like you want to press and there's a drop down and then you choose and all those things. How do you do that? That's what we are going to be looking at next, right? Is everyone okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Let's pick something. Let's say we want to pick towns. Let's say we want to pick towns. Remember, what did I say break does? What did we say BR does? It's called break. So it simply makes
Makes
sure
the
that
space.
you go,
It makes sure
Yeah.
there's a space between all the pieces of text.
yes, that's what it does. So the next one we are going to we want to select from a drop down. Say we want to select from name of towns. Now here I am going to introduce something new. I'm going to introduce what we call label. I am labeling my drop down. So you can label. So we say we are labeling. These things, by the way, you can all get them on the net. I am gonna drop you a link which you're going to use for this thing. I'll drop you a link. Okay, let's continue. So we say we want to select something, at least one thing or more than one thing. So we say we are selecting. We say select, right? Then we do that, and then we close select. We opened select, then we closed it. Inside, we say options, option, and then we close option. So we said we want names of towns. So we have Richards Bay, then option, we have Empangeni, we close option. Then we have Durban, right? Then we close. So we have decided that we want to select from 3 options. So select must enclose the options. The options must be inside the select. We want to select from options, right? Do you get it? Tell me if you're stuck. Let's see how it appears. So there you go. Name of towns. Boo. Select Mbangeni, select Durban, select Richards Bay. Do you guys get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wow.
Have you guys been typing this? I just want to know. You didn't have to.
I did not type so.
So how do you add an
Because-
image to
I
your
didn't
website?
type.
Okay. We are coming to images and videos. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to take, it's 20 past 10. We are going to take 10 minutes break. And then when we come back, we do videos and pictures. The interesting part, the interesting things. When we come back, we do videos and pictures. Yeah.
This in the chat.
Sir,
There it is. I'm pasting it on the chat. On the chat, they say I must call it the chat.
is it chat?
You're never gonna
Hey.
get over this, are you?
It's on the chat.
It is a chat.
Some
Thank
chat.
you. Hello. Hello.
So, sir. Sir. Sir.
He's offline.
here.
What?
So, sir, I've gone ahead and I remember from last week's class, it wasn't last week's Friday, but it was the other class that happened last week. And you said that we must go ahead and you gave us a link, go ahead and try to establish a website. And you gave us a link to a website that would help us while we're creating our website. And so I've gone ahead and done I've wrote a little bit of code and I've accessed my local host and I've gone ahead and customized it. And I just wanted to let you see it.
Share with us.
Okay. Okay, here it is.
Okay.
And over here is the code that it's the HTML part that I wrote for it.
Okay, I see you have a part where there's a video. Does it work? It opens a link.
It's a link that you press and then it opens a video.
Oh, this is beautiful. Well done. Now you just have to practice and make sure that we're gonna work and practice and to ensure that we have not just code, but we now have code which can be you have a website which can be looked at, right?
And use.
So that's what we're gonna work on next. But well done.
Thank you.
You guys.
This took a fair amount of time to do.
I know that's what practice is. In the end, it will take much less time because in the end you'll be able to do it as fast as I'm doing it. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the end, you'll be able to do it as fast as I'm doing it. It's practice. You know, my work. My work is to introduce you to the concept. Your work is to practice those concepts.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Yes.
To do the following, do you need to set up our computers first?
To do what I'm doing?
No, sir, to do what Kusanda did, sir.
No, you don't.
No.
No, okay, so what's the name of the website that I need to use?
I just send it to you on the chat. It's a
Okay,
chat.
thank you, sir.
I remember, so yes, thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
I was gonna send it to you and you follow it through. Okay, 5 minutes. Let's take the 5 minutes. And then in that 5 minutes, let me see how I entertain you guys.
We can do a karaoke session.
Autonomous driving technology could revolutionize a different industry first.
Everyone's talking about self-driving cars, and rather than starting the 51st self-driving car startup, what if we apply that same idea to a more tractable use case, which we believe to be construction?
Unlike cars functioning on city streets, autonomous tech is at a point where it can be safely integrated.
Construction sites are more systematic and controlled than public roads are. Construction is more conducive in the near term to the rollout of autonomous equipment.
And the introduction of automation in construction could have a profound impact on an industry that has been slow to adapt.
The way we build today is largely unchanged from the way we used to build 50 years ago. And so there has been a certain level of stagnation as far as the technological innovation goes in the industry.
A lot of these projects go over budget and over time. One of the big benefits is just making sure that you get things done in a defined amount of time with a more predictable schedule.
You can have that one person having the productivity of 5 machines. And so it starts to scale pretty significantly.
This is very hard work on the body, and we've seen that 1 out of every 4 workers tends to end their career earlier with injuries.
Construction is a massive industry that hasn't benefited from a lot of the latest technological advancements we've seen in the world. And so we believe that bringing digitization and automation into this industry will really transform how it works.
Construction represents one of the largest sectors in the global economy, with about $10 trillion spent each year. That spending accounts for 13% of the world's GDP. But the sector's annual productivity growth has only increased 1% over the past 20 years. According to one study, $1.6 trillion of additional value added could be created through higher productivity.
There has been just a huge amount of waste in the industry, and that's not because people aren't working hard. It's just because it's hard to coordinate all the various different tasks and so forth.
When you look at construction, labor productivity has declined by 50% since the 1950s.
The industry is also faced with a labor shortage, and the COVID-19 pandemic has only further complicated things.
It's making people step back and say, hey, the way we've been doing things for a long time is just not sustainable. So I think in some ways COVID is just a wake-up call.
Mining and agriculture have been utilizing autonomous equipment for years.
Farmers have been using GPS technology to guide them along rows and turn for a long time. And then Caterpillar, I think they have over 200 mining trucks running autonomously in the world. I think they actually say they have more miles driven than a lot of the autonomous car companies do.
And the benefits of using the technology could transform the industry.
Autonomous wraps into a whole suite of technologies that allow you to measure, cost out, and do your work in a more predictable, planned, and efficient way. And I think that can be very, very powerful.
The Canvas system really allows workers now to deliver in 2 days instead of 7.
Autonomous construction machinery utilizes the same equipment as self-driving cars.
We have an existing vehicle and we add sensor to that. Same thing that Waymo would do, and the sensor we use a LiDAR radar camera.
The scale and the pace at which the auto industry has just brought down the cost of the supply chain has been just transformational for what's possible in the heavy equipment world.
You can now collapse your construction timelines. You can knock out work overnight so that it's ready for your human workers in the morning to speed them along.
The trucks themselves can be 30% more productive, so you get less stop and start. You have just more efficient routes, so you do the whole job more efficiently. And it can be a substantial savings.
So a typical, mid-sized infrastructure construction project takes about 5 years. If you introduce autonomy, it will take them, instead of 5 years, they can get the job done in 3.5 years. Instead of spending 60 million, they can get the job done for 40 million.
Other things like costs of insurance, costs of fuel, we will start to see equipment that is actuated very precisely because computers are behind it. And so we're able to avoid a lot of rework and costly mistakes that can naturally occur due to human errors.
There are several companies working on autonomous technology. Everything from the big players such as Caterpillar and Komatsu to startups like Built Robotics and Canvas.
I think the OEMs have really been starting to increase the cadence with which they're thinking about the automation problem. And I think they've definitely shown that there's a huge market here.
The mining industry was one of the first to employ the use of self-driving tech. Caterpillar began its first autonomy program over 30 years ago.
Once the DARPA Grand Challenge was successful, pretty much all the people who were involved, Caterpillar took the big, all the top people and started their autonomous mining truck project.
Caterpillar has the largest fleet of autonomous haul trucks. The company says it has hauled 2 billion metric tons in just over 6 years. Built Robotics is a San Francisco-based startup founded by an ex-Google engineer that already has machinery out in the field.
We've done a lot of work both on wind and solar projects here in the US. We're also starting to work in Australia, and the particular application there is oil and gas.
Built is retrofitting existing construction equipment with self-driving tech.
Imagine a future where you can show up to a construction site and you tell a piece of equipment that you want to dig a trench from point A to point B, and you press go. And then that giant excavator starts to do the work.
It has automated several pieces of equipment, such as bulldozers and excavators. Built sees potential for automating other areas too.
Other examples are compactors or asphalt pavers and motor graders. I think there's actually a limitless number of possibilities here where autonomy can play a big role.
Safe AI is another Silicon Valley startup. It recently teamed up with Obayashi for a pilot program. It has been retrofitting equipment like dump trucks, bulldozers, and loaders.
We add AI technology to that and make it completely autonomous. That means this vehicle is now running around without any operator in the cab and getting the job done that needs to get done.
It's focused on infrastructure, which represents a majority of construction projects.
These are the projects that are hugely inefficient, very repetitive, run in a massive scale. So anything run in a massive scale and you automate that, the return is going to be massive as well.
Robots are also helping inside. San Francisco-based Canvas created an autonomous machine for finishing drywall.
We focused on drywall finishing as our first place of bringing these machines onto site. And this is partially because it is one of the most labor-intensive trades where the tools haven't really changed significantly for 75 years.
The machine works alongside the crew, helping them expedite the process.
The worker basically guides the system and tells it what to do and where to do it. Each worker can operate multiple machines, really streamlining the workflow. One of the things we've done with the machine is enabled it to apply materials with a lot of precision and a lot of consistency.
The Canvas robot has already been used for projects like the San Francisco Airport and the Chase Arena.
Now that we have the system reliable and really delivering on a regular basis for our customers here and are growing here, we're starting to look towards other cities in the US and starting to spread this more nationally.
The technological revolution coming to construction opens up some new potential revenue streams.
Basically what you're doing is you're adding value to your customers through having more reliable equipment, more productive and more effective equipment, and hopefully reducing the uncertainty of breakdowns and other things. Then you can figure out a revenue model around all those things. Some of those are not yet created, but if there's value there, there's a way to sort of charge for it.
While operators won't be needed inside the vehicles, their skills will still be utilized on the construction site.
You can reallocate their time to higher value tasks on the site. So they're not doing the basic, repetitive, mundane work, but rather they're doing the things that humans are best at.
You still have to manage the resource. You still have to tell the truck, go do 20 shift right now and then go here to do another 20 shift. So we are really moving people out of harm's way, less skilled, repetitive one to a more skilled one.
The coronavirus pandemic upended life as we knew it and introduced challenges on the industry that have never been seen before, but it has created a boom for autonomous machinery.
Okay, everyone is back, right? We said 10 minutes. Let's start with Juliana. Juliana, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Great. Keniso, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Susanda?
Yes, I'm back. I was muted.
Jivesh? Jivesh? Vitalari? Vitalari? Who is Galaxy A6 Plus? Sena? Okay. Should we check on Langa? Let's skip him. KK?
Yes, sir.
Good. Mlando?
Yes, sir, I'm back.
Aman? Who's Galaxy A6? Aman? Oh, Aman doesn't have audio, it's fine. Guys, Mlando just asked me a question. If you're watching a video, it was a beautiful movie. Mlando just asked me a question. How do you create a website like we did? So we are going to as we were doing, we are going to start with the steps afresh, so that everyone can follow, right? Everyone can see my screen, right? Can you all see my screen? Say me if you can't see my screen.
I can see your screen, Seth.
Okay. Okay. Everybody, if you have Notepad++, please open it. If you don't have Notepad++, please open Notepad. I'm going to give you a minute. Open Notepad++ or Notepad. I'm giving you a minute.
Hello, sir. I'm back.
You're back. Okay. Everybody open Notepad++ or open Notepad. If you don't have Notepad++, open Notepad. I'm giving you a minute to do that. Okay. If you are opening Notepad++, you'll find a very empty page like this. It is a very empty page. If you don't have a very empty page, please press this or press File, New. So if you don't have an empty page, press File, New, right? It will give you an empty page. If you are on Notepad, if you are on Notepad, if you're on Notepad, we are going to be working on with this. If you're on Notepad, this is what you get. A very white, very empty page like this. If you're not Notepad++, you get a page like that, right? Good. The first thing that you do, Mlando, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
Good. The first thing that you do is you write tag HTML, close tag HTML. That's the first thing that you do. You open HTML and you close HTML, right? You open HTML and you close HTML. That's the first thing that you do. Good. The next step, you go to File, you say File, then you go to Save As. I'm going to repeat. File, then you go to Save As. I'm going to repeat one last time. File, then you say Save As. Then it will put you here. When you are here, you are going to press, let's see. If you can see music, please press music. I want us to use a different folder. If you can see music, please press music when you are here. If you can see music, please press music.
Sir,
After pressing, yes.
I'm a little bit behind.
Okay, where are you?
The first part, sir.
Okay. Who is this KK? Vitalaru. Is it
Yes,
KK
sir.
or Vitalaru?
Me, sir.
Okay. Okay. You have an empty page, right? Whether you're
Yes,
on
sir.
Notepad or Notepad++, the steps are literally the same. Whether you're on Notepad or Notepad++, the steps are literally the same. You press
Yes.
File, then you press Save As, right? You
Yes,
press
sir.
File, then you press Save As. And then when you are here, you will see music written on the side. Press music. All right. And then I want you to write index.html. We are doing an HTML file. I want you to write index.html. Are we doing good? No one is stuck. After pressing index.html, you press save. It will change color. If you are on HTML, on Notepad++, it will change color. If you're on Notepad, it will not. If you're on Notepad, it will not change color. That's why we don't usually use Notepad. HTML, file, save as. I said music, so you press music. I'm not gonna use music. Index.html. Then you press save. You're done. You are done. Then you can start writing the code. So you write the code. So whatever you write it here. And then you go to your files, you go to music, and then you look for the file written index.html and you double click it. And it will show you what you have been working on. Remember, for it to start showing you stuff, you need to declare head, close head, body, close body. Then you write everything else here. Then you go to file. Then you say save. File save, not save as. File save. File save. Then you come here and you refresh. There, it's working. File save. File save. You do save as once, and then after that you say save. Okay, guys, on the chat, I'm sending you guys a link. On the chat, I'm sending you guys a link. Everyone should have a link on the chat. I want you to open that link. That's your homework. You can't live here without homework. Please save that chat link somewhere. Langa will send it to your parents also using WhatsApp, hopefully. And then it will bring you to something like this. I want you to do HTML from home until HTML CSS. From HTML home until HTML CSS. You press, you read, you write on your code until HTML CSS. All of you, I want you to do that. Next week, we will do images and links and videos. Are we clear?
Sir, yes, we are. Sir, I'm already done with home to CSS.
You go down, go further down.
Okay.
Good. Guys, I need to see double time work. I need to see double time work. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Vitalari,
Yes, sir.
are you good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Now, movie time.
Hey.
Yay. Finally.
Movie time.
Yes. I'll be looking at the images. I'll be looking at how to do the images because they're frustrating me currently.
Yeah, you'll get it. Movie time. One of you should start a company that does the following, what I'm going to show you. One of you should just be like, I'm going to start a company. And
So, but why don't you do it?
Huh?
Because he's an adult.
So
Because
why?
I'm busy. I'm busy teaching you. One
Ever
of
heard
you.
of multitasking?
Eh?
Ever heard of multitasking?
I am I'm multitasking. I'm doing so much. I'm doing a lot. So, and I'm old. So I'm giving this chance to you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, right.
show me the thing again. I got lost behind. I was behind. We
Huh?
are ready. We are ready.
You got lost.
So can you
You
please
got
show me
lost
again?
where,
Because
Mlan?
I had to write the things and like how to see it after writing the code. I mean how to see it.
Okay.
We must go to file and
Go to file, then open music. And then look for the file written index.html. That's what you named it, right?
so
Good. Look for it, press it twice.
Sir,
Yes.
what movie are we watching?
We are watching. Let me see. We are watching. Terminator. Do you know
Okay.
Terminator?
No.
Do you know it?
No.
So which Terminator? The first one or the second one?
I'm still checking which one we're gonna watch.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, I'm just opening Terminator now. Good. It's time for
Some economists say the world is entering a second machine age. Artificial intelligence and other advancements enabling robots to do tasks that until now only human eyes, minds, and hands could handle. For this episode of Moving Upstream, we traveled through Asia to meet the next generation of industrial robots. Where robots are making robots.
Well, they're making love to these robots, making babies.
Yes, right. To see how they're changing manufacturing and whether they're sealing the fate of low-skilled workers. Every other year, Tokyo plays host to the world's largest robotics trade show, IREX. It's no coincidence the show is in Asia. Here, robots are being bought and sold in numbers unrivaled anywhere else in the world. These are the types of robots Professor Erik Brynjolfsson is keeping an eye on as MIT's chief scholar on the digital economy.
We used to have to really painstakingly teach the machines step by step, program them what to do, and now machine learning is enabling the machines to figure out on their own how to solve problems. You put together the algorithms, the data, and the computer chips, and you get sometimes a millionfold improvement in the performance of these systems.
A millionfold improvement?
Yeah.
And what does that allow you to do?
So one really important thing to do on the factory floor is just be able to recognize objects, and that's something that only humans could do well until recently.
At IREX, we witnessed a robot handling a task that I, as a human, don't do so well, futzing with one of those pesky tape dispensers. It's among the latest offerings from Yaskawa, one of the world's largest manufacturers of industrial robots. Its main sellers are large industrial robots that do dangerous things like welding car parts. We visit one of Yaskawa's robot manufacturing facilities in the southern port city of Kitakyushu. Here, the public can try controlling and racing against AI-enhanced robot arms.
You're done.
We got to see where the robots are made.
The robots themselves, they're sealed off by these plastic barriers. The workers aren't allowed to be in there while they're in operation because they're making these very fast movements.
The head of the robotics division at Yaskawa, Masahiro Ogawa, seems most excited to talk about robots that don't need to be walled off from humans, that work alongside employees. In the industry, they're called cobots. The International Federation of Robots predicts in coming years, cobots will lead the robotics industry. That's partially what's driving startups like China-based Elephant Robotics to get in the game.
Heated people, so it will just stop.
Yeah.
So work with people.
Yeah, works with people.
Yeah.
We asked their founder, Ju-Yi Song, how his cobot is different from traditional robot arms.
It moves not that quick, and it is very, very light.
Okay.
So it can work with people. So this is the most important thing.
In addition to being safer, the collaboration proves to be more productive. A study conducted by MIT researchers found that human-machine groups were more efficient than teams wholly comprised of one or the other. They also reduced human idle time by 85%. While traveling through Japan, we visited Huistenbosch, a Holland-themed amusement park. There we checked out its latest attraction, a robot restaurant.
How many okonomiyaki pancakes can the robot make in an hour?
今のロボットで焼ける枚数っていうのは1時間でだいたい5、6枚ぐらいだと思います。まだまだそんなに早くない。でもそれだけ丁寧に作ってますから。
My colleague Matt McDonald, after getting a robot mixed cocktail,
Kanpai,
tried the robot chef's signature dish.
特に日本ではどんどんこう少子高齢化で、特に若い人たちの人口がこれからどんどん減っていく、これがもう目に見えて迫っている状況ですから、じゃあいかに効率的にこのレストランのオペレーションができるのか、いかに少ない人手で。
It's gimmicky by design. Back at Yaskawa, Ogawa tells us most of the customers who come to him looking for new automation solutions come from China.
China market huge, and the growth ratio very high.
How high? Last year, Chinese demand for robots grew more than 20%. One reason for that is China's working population is aging. By 2060, the average Chinese citizen is projected to be 50 years old. To see the impact of industrial robots on manufacturing in China, we traveled to an area that's considered the electronics capital of the world, the Pearl River Delta region. Headquartered there is Rappu, China's largest keyboard and mice manufacturer. We asked the CEO why his company is making the move towards robotics.
Because in China have a rapid salary increase beginning from 2008. So we feel the little pressure from the labor side. So we decided to change a lot our manufacturing system to robot.
Wages for the average urban employee in China have more than doubled since 2008. Rappu, he says, in the past few years, used robotics to reduce its factory workforce from 2,500 people to now 1,000, and more automation is on the way.
So you're bringing more robots in?
Yeah, and then make even the logistics will use a robot.
You seem very happy about this.
Yeah, because it will make my company more competitive in the field.
And you're not worried when you lay off those 700 workers?
No, they can easily get jobs, no problem.
China's unemployment rate is 4.6%, pretty low. And the Chinese government says it's even lower in urban areas.
Most of them are getting jobs. They're not having to go back to the farm.
They cannot go back. And
they
right now,
can't go back?
No, but they can go back, but for them it's no meaning to go back because they will easily find another job because China is growing very fast.
When we talk to CEOs in China, do you think they're being forthright? Do you think they're being accurate?
Broadly, I think they are. I think that there are going to be lots and lots of jobs that are automated, millions, hundreds of millions of jobs that won't be needed because robots will do them. But there's no shortage of work that only humans can do.
Indeed, in China, the category of jobs that are growing fastest are in the service sector.
Is there any resistance from workers to putting these new robots in?
No, because they have no choice.
Your plant that you oversee has already been automated 80%, you said. Do you see it going the rest of that 20%?
Li Zhendu, a worker at the Rappu factory, has watched as robots have replaced his colleagues.
How far off do you think we are from full automation?
我觉得应该3-5年应该可以吧。
So nobody left working in your department?
这个要根据公司来决定这个东西。然后具体的话还是看公司层面。
Chinese delivery company JD is showing how automation is advancing in other industries, like logistics. There are still some employees here, but not at a JD sorting center near Shanghai. It's taking nearly all humans out of this process. And this is the same company that last year began making drone deliveries.
This is a moment of choice and opportunity. It could be the best 10 years ahead of us that we've ever had in human history, or one of the worst, because we have more power than we've ever had before. The tools by themselves are not going to lift up the billions of people who are being left behind. Those are conscious choices we have to make as a society and as individuals.
In just 6 years, worldwide sales of industrial robots have risen more than 140%. What do you think about robots taking on more work? We look forward to reading your comments.
You guys still here? Oh, you fell asleep.
Yes, sir. We're still here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Homework. I'm not going to discuss or
Yes,
say
sir. I'm still here.
much. I'm just gonna give you more homework. Each one of you is going to be presenting next week. What are you
What are
presenting? I want to know what it takes to make or to build robots, the process of building robots. I want you to take me through how would you build the body? How is the body built? The electronics. Your Arduinos have got a lot of wires, but those robots, you don't see any wires everywhere. So
Yeah,
how do
sure.
they do it? So your
They've
job
got-
is to
They've got
find
compartments that
out.
you hide the wires in.
Go and find that out. You might be right, you might be wrong. Go and find out that out from the body to everything. Next week, you're presenting. Is that okay?
Yes,
Yes, that's fine.
Are we all presenting?
Yes. all.
Yes, we're all
Okay.
presenting.
Yes.
So what
Any
about the
questions,
Poppy Act?
guys?
We needed to present about the Poppy Act and how it involves our projects.
We are doing an event on the whole of that. Langa will give you guys details on what we're gonna do on Poppy Act.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting because we're gonna have an audience of 50 to 100 people that you guys will be presenting to, and they will also have an input as well. We're gonna have a live polling. They also have an input on your presentations. So I want just your say only, because we know that he's biased. He loves you guys so much.
Biased. That's not the right word to be using.
What is
That's
the right
not
word?
fun, sir. That's really not fun.
I'd say maybe specially choosing.
That's kind of true, though.
Also, you know, Clint, so you know this bias thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Poppy Act, I will tell you next week which day you're presenting, and there's going to be 100 people available to listen to you presenting. So please don't embarrass me.
What?
Please
Try
don't
not to.
embarrass
Okay,
me.
we promise not to embarrass you.
I will.
Thank
sir.
you.
I
No
will.
promises.
You will,
But how
from me.
exactly can
you will
you?
embarrass me.
How
Yes.
exactly can we embarrass you?
Exactly.
I
You're gonna
don't
embarrass
know.
us.
What are we gonna do that's
Oh.
gonna tarnish your good name? At best, we're gonna ruin our reputation. At best.
Yeah, so next week though, it's all about robotics. It's all about building. What does it take? What does it take to have a good body of a robot? What does it take to have? How is it made? I want those details. Is that okay?
Yes,
sir.
okay. Sir,
Sir.
also, do you mean
Yes,
the construction of the body, or do you mean like the teaching part of how the robot does it something or anything?
I'm only interested in the construction of the body,
Okay.
not the teaching, the construction of the body.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
you said you are going to fix our problem with the web server at the end.
Langa Zoom. Okay, Langa.
Yes, sir.
Can we have a session with those who don't have web server on Monday? On Monday, run their
Yeah, we
computers.
can. So at 4 to 6, at the very same slot, we can just start with them at 4.
Okay. Monday, we're gonna have a slot. We're going to be focusing on web server because I
Four.
saw that if I focused on it fully today, we were not gonna have a class, and we can't not have a class.
Okay, no, that's fine. Let's reserve. Let's have that at 4. Is
Right.
guys, everyone is
Any
gonna
other
challenge
questions?
at 4 p.m. exactly.
Sir.
No, thank you. Right.
Bye. The
Sir.
class is done. Yes,
Sir.
Uchalari.
If there's 100 people, we will be presenting online or what?
Langa, where will they be presenting?
It will still be here on Zoom, Vasalari, so it won't make any difference to you. Actually, we don't want you guys to just focus on 100 people or 50 people. It can be any number. It can be 10 people, can be 20 people. But what we want to do is just to develop your personality, so that you can be able to work under pressure, develop your presenting abilities, and. So that's the whole exercise basically.
Yes, and you guys are gonna soon. I'll tell you when. You guys are gonna soon be taking classes from Cisco and University of Zululand, classes on cybersecurity, which I think some of you will love them. On hacking.
It is very interesting, sir.
Yes, I can be a Russian now.
Well, guys, it's not just hacking only. There's also entrepreneurship in there. There's also IoT. What's the last
Yeah,
one?
it's those three IoT, which they are doing.
There's a fourth one. There's a fourth one. I just forgot which one. But there's also going to be entrepreneurship because we want you guys to be entrepreneurs and develop that entrepreneurial aspect and abilities and skills. So that's very important.
Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's
cool.
a lot
It's
of
time.
work.
But what
so
if we want to be Russians?
It's time for you guys to go to university now.
Vatolari,
What? Skipping high school?
We're learning some of this stuff.
why do you want to be a hacker, Vatolari?
I just want to be a hacker.
Why?
So I don't have to be hacked. I hacked them back. They hacked me, I hacked them back.
Okay, Juliana, what were you saying?
So why do we need to go to university if you guys are going to teach us, or if you guys are teaching us most of it?
Well, so that you
Because that
get
we
even
can-
more.
Because so that we can say that we went to university before high school.
Yes.
Grade 4, that will be good then.
Okay, guys, have yourself a good weekend. I'll see you guys, not all, some of you on Monday if you have questions. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye. Bye.
I'm obnoxious about that fact.
Home high fives.
Oh my, bye.
Okay, you can cut the live stream, Zaha, and then we can just have that little discussion.